Welcome to Atlantic Television Network. It's Atlantic Blowout, and this is a syndicated live program of the network featuring chit-chatting and conversations on special interest topics, on news events and correspondent report, expert opinion, also stakeholders analysis, and the story for adoption. And then from the National Assembly, revoke East-West Road contract, reps tells federal government. On tax, federal government exempts SMEs, manufacturers and farmers from withholding tax. And then on crude oil, NNPCL combats issues hindering production. On electricity, 6 trillion naira revenue needed annually for steady supply. So we'll find out more about these stories, and then we'll also get to introduce our guest and let you know what his analysis of these stories are after this break. Please don't go anywhere.
Kasali, I hope my card already. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Okay, you not ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cost more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you not read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now?
You know, the electrician make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use them, you don't behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change from your motor? What you change from?
Full light. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what you know, you for come over home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. Do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets.
I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
Hey? So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop?
You can just stop drink water finish.
Wait, I didn't come now. At the sell plantain, I go come put on for chemical because I want to make a ripe go. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not before this kaswa, come not before this country. Now me take
Corruption not in my country.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountain, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, ATM.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly. Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
So no agreement with the EU, but
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract where we do that? Where me and boys, they shark beer in our house. I'm supposed to pay that one. You remember saying, me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy now.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg you said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Foundation
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope so my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Guy, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Maybe now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me, do my
adjust your meter. Make it for no read again, Abi. So you said you want join people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, Abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use them. You know they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change for my motor? What you come out for home my motor? I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. And something come backfire now go come.
It's brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets.
I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this?
Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What in be this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up. You know, say Pela, I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink come.
Where I collect that water, drink come.
I just stop finish. See my belly. I found it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, you drink come now. At the cell and plantain, I go competent for chemical because I want to make a ripe co. That's why I talk now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take come.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains. Through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable
You understand.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
I don't get a lot. Boy, they won't booga me small. They say, man, give them bribe. I say, nothing. Okay, now, we'll go block later. You remember that contract we will do that time now? They don't pay.
But first, you see the house rent with the old things. We go first call caretaker, take the money, slap am.
Beg, see, you know, say I get annual levy why they pay for club. Where me and boys they shark beer na house, I supposed pay that one. You remember say me and tell you I go buy you motor. I go buy na.
Okay, they pay you money now. We don't they beg caretaker? We they beg landlord, old man, and they agree give us time. Money can't come now. You won't divert time. You said na corruption. Corruption, not in my house and not in my country.
Sure?
Sure.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
Kasali, I hope my car don't ready. I get interview in 30 minutes.
Guy, you don't ready. I just the last minute instruction where you give me yesterday. Now in the cause more delay.
Which instruction?
Shebi now you say make I change the meter, make you no read again.
Which time I make you change meter? Oh, Kasali, why you do like this now? You don't get sense. You don't read the text message. Nobody I want send them to. Like Kasali, my electrician, make it come house, call me do my meter so that you don't go to read again. You the electrician?
The electrician.
Yes, now.
So you call Kasali electrician, make it come help you adjust your meter, make it for no read again, abi. So you said you want young people where be say they no want they pay NEPA bill again, abi. Oga, you know good now. You don't use you don't they behave like all these stiff people.
Oh, what you change for your motor? What you change for?
Two lights. Fuel gauge. Speedometer.
For what now? You for come out for home my motor. I better identify for me.
Okay. Now don't do something we corrupt. Do something come backfire. Now go come they find how to dodge them.
What you talk?
They greet you.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
Corruption not in my country.
What do you want to buy?
Potato. Small baskets. I want plantain. But why your plantain can't hard like this? Madam, now the outside hard. Inside there, it is very soft.
Madam, wallahi make her no buy them. Make her show you something. What? What in this one? Madam, this one now the chemical where they put on for the plantain make her ripe up.
So you dey put chemical for plantain where people go chop. Now water no be chemical. Water.
You know say Pela I don't talk and say water and not be enemy. Drink am.
Where you collect that water, drink am. I just stop finish. See my belly. After it don't big. I just stop drink water finish.
Wait, you drink am now. I dey sell am plantain I go come put am for chemical because I want to make a ripe ko. That one I talk and now corruption. Corruption. Not be for this kaswa, come not be for this country. Now me take am.
Corruption not in my country.
This message is brought to you by the Akinfade Foundation, the MacArthur Foundation,
and with broadcast support from Atlantic Television Network.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
Every day our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honourable
you human trafficker.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
right, we have with us in the studio Dr. John Itumange, and he is a lot of things, but some of these things are, he is a lecturer, he's a rights activist, he's a journalist, an arbitrator, and a management consultant. One of our regulars on ATN Blowout. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Anidoye. We are here again.
Yes, we're here again to talk about development. Okay, let's go to the first story. We're going straight to Cross River State now. 5 police officers attached to the Zone 6 police headquarters in Cross River are currently in custody for allegedly adopting and fraudulently extorting the sum of 3 million naira from their victims. Now, the incident actually happened while the team was on a patrol along the Ikom-Calabar Highway, according to reports. And in the press signing by the Zonal Police Public Relations Officer, SP Nelson Okbabi, on Tuesday, disclosed that the said officers were alleged to have unprofessional conduct. 5 officers been arrested for adoption and extortion. I would not say that this is the first time we're hearing a case like this where officers are alleged to have, extorted money from people. But now adoption and extortion of up to 3 million naira according to reports. Yes, Dr. John, let's get your thoughts on this one.
In 2016, when I was serving under the Dixon administration, I did a program, a PGD program in criminology, and my project topic bordered on police science. I interviewed so many people, and one of the startling findings was that within the police itself, there are actually bad eggs. Most of the crimes, there are very good people. You have very fine professional policemen, well-trained, and they keep to the code of conduct of the police force. But again, within the police, they say among every 12, there is always a Judas. I think I blame this thing on the recruitment process. If you remember, I think, was it up to 3 weeks ago or so, 3 weeks or a month ago, the police tried to debunk a rumor. I think there was some sort of a conflict between 2 lists of those recruited. Okay, so you still remember?
Yes.
So I discovered that in that research, the police is actually your friend. 5 feet, is it 5 feet 6 or 5 feet 7 inches or something like that? When you see an American...
You found these out from your research that you did on...
no, generally, when they are recruiting, there are specifications. You must get a particular height before you can even apply and so on. In Nigeria, some of the policemen we see, I know that a lot of racketeering is going on. A lot of man, no man, I know you, so I want to belong. In some cases, when they undergo the exercise and so on, even when they fail, if the big man up there is disposed to, accepting somebody from you as a replacement, they do it. So indiscipline, again, that boils down to the issue of indiscipline in our society. Today, as a teacher, if I refuse to take bribe from a student, the woman selling onions decides to say, look, the onions I'm going to sell will not be the rotten one. The tomato seller said, no, this one is rotten, throw it away, sell the good one. By the time this thing goes round, our society will be a very commodious place to live in.
Saying that there's corruption going on in the recruitment process.
Corruption, yes.
Making reference to the stories that we had concerning the list where accusations were made that some names of people who did not pass the medical test and some other tests were included in the list. That's actually what you're holding on. If we talk about that, then it should be looked into, because when we talk about these corrupt eggs in the system, it seems like we see them almost every day, and it looks like those are the particular people we are meeting almost every day. It means that there's a huge percentage of that in the system, and that should actually...
Faculty course, there are up to 300-400 students. I said, no, I'm not going to give handout. What we used to do was, I used my office, produce some handouts, give to the students. Those who cannot get them should photocopy and take. Oh God, we want to pay. I said, no, don't pay me. Because while I was in school, university lecturers wrote their books and autographed it for me as their scholar. So how else will I appreciate God? So my advice is that all institutions should be meticulous in recruiting, even the civil service. If you go to the civil service, there are so many rotten eggs. Some do not even have school cert. But you see, they would go to Oluwole. I don't know if you know that place in Lagos. Oluwole, where they manufacture, where they can produce any certificate you want to see. And until you scrutinize, it will be difficult for you to know. Some have master's degrees, which they brandish, and you recruit the person and employ the person on the basis of a master's degree, whereas the person does not have a school cert. Cases like that abound.
Not to actually talk down on any sector, but you see, when we talk about the police force, this is a very delicate sector because these are people who handle these arms.
Yes.
Yes, and they actually come in contact with the civilians.
On a daily basis.
Exactly. So when we talk about recruitment process and when there are allegations of corruption, even though they've been asked to come up with evidence that actually happened, it should not be taken lightly. It should be duly investigated to make sure that that doesn't happen. And
you see, this is one of the reasons people are scared, since the year 2015, no, since the year 2005, I have been writing articles on the imperatives of state police. Why we need state police. This is a highly centralized structure, command structure in the police, where you have to, where the commissioner cannot. But these are the problems. These are the founded fears people have, especially where
against state police.
Yes, these are some of the problems we have when we, advocate this issue of establishing state police. So if the police is as corrupt as that, and we have a state police, and there is a governor, the tendency is for the governor to manipulate the police in his favor. He will manipulate everything to his favor. And by the end of the day, justice is perverted, the rule of law is thrown into the Atlantic Ocean.
Is it actually different now? We still have such cases.
Yes, it is still better, it is still controllable now. I am not saying we should not establish police, state police, but I am saying that one of the fears people entertain is this idea of the state governors. Again, before we even establish state police, we should give the governors limited immunity. Limited. Look at that. If you are following up the trial of Donald Trump, the American Supreme Court just said that, look, January 16, what happened on January 16 when they assaulted and they attacked Capitol Hill, Trump was still the president. Although he may not enjoy full immunity at that point, but the Supreme Court decided, they ruled, I think 2 days ago, that as president of the America, he should be able to enjoy limited immunity. You see? So before we talk of state police, so the police is corrupt. The recruitment process should be scrutinized. Certificates should be scrutinized. They should be able to take data, they should inventorize, visit communities, do background check before you bring in these people. And again, there are, before you join the police, there are people who guarantee, sign for you. I hardly recommend people, because I've seen a situation where a professor in University of Benin recommended somebody. The person became a thief, and by the end of the day, all that is told, the professor paid. So based on that experience, I hardly recommend people.
This awareness should really be created. A lot of people do not know.
Don't just recommend anybody except you can vouch for the person's character. Character is higher than education. Education is something you can acquire. Even a madman can, in his sane moments, can acquire education. Even a pervert can acquire education. But character, that is a conscience we are talking about. So we need to do some homework.
All right, so let's go to the next story now. House of Representatives has asked the Minister of Works, David Umahi, to immediately revoke the contract for the construction of the flooded East-West Road and other contracts and re-award same to a company with expertise and capacity. This followed a motion on the need to revoke the contract for the construction of flooded sections of the East-West Road connecting major communities in Bayelsa State, moved by Honorable Obok of Foju during the plenary in Abuja. And moving the motion, Foju stated that the East-West Road is one of the important roads in Federation, which has significantly contributed to the country's economic and social development. It connects major regions, facilitating trade, commerce, and cultural exchange, thus improving access to markets, industries, and social services. He further explained that the Federal Ministry of Works awarded the contract for the construction of the box culverts for the repairs of the flooded sections of the East-West Road, that's Kayama-Aoda section, to a company that has failed to execute the contract, causing traffic disruptions and loss of lives. The East-West Road construction topic has been in the news for a very long time. It has, there have been various talks about it, meetings, conferences, this being mentioned, that being mentioned, or will complete the East-West Road. And this is actually a project that has been on for decades. Yes, Dr. John.
On Saturday, not the immediate past, the upper week Saturday, I traveled to Yenagoa. I almost wept. We were in that traffic for close to 1.5 hours. That's a distance between here to Brikwere. I started wondering, in 2022, there was, I think that was the highest flood we have ever seen. There was flood. Now the question is, why will government, after the flood, why will government wait until 2 years after and such a contract? Begin to wonder why the federal government is not taking this oil producing area seriously. I'm not talking of just Niger Delta, we are producing, no. But this is where we are the people laying the golden egg. And that is the only road we load the tankers and so on, take their products for onward distribution to the end users. It is not just enough to cancel that contract. I think if I'm in a position to call the youth in 1998, we did what we call the Kayama Declaration. They should not tempt some of us to begin to gather the youths to do another declaration or mass protest. It is sad that a lady giving birth to children is not even given a cup of tea to drink, whereas other people, no.
Why do you think it took this long for the contracts for talks to come up about the contracts being revoked and then given to another company?
One thing with government is political will. See, if the government wishes to turn this house into a 10-story building, in the next 6 months to 1 year, they can achieve that. Yes, if the federal government was actually ready to, put in her best to ensure that that East-West Road is well constructed, they know who to give the contract to. In Nigeria today, although in Germany, Julius Berger may well be the 10th best construction company, but in Nigeria, Julius Berger I think is in terms of road construction, it is top notch. Why not hand over this thing to Julius Berger rather than giving it to CCECC? Because we have taken a lot of loan from China, up to maybe 81, 83 trillion naira.
So you feel that's why the contract was awarded?
Of course, those are some of the unseen, those are some of the hidden conditions. Remember, I wrote a paper on Nigeria's loans, the Chinese loans and how they affect our economy. Do you know that some of those loans we are taking, some of these agreements are written without disclosing the conditions? They call it the confidentiality clause. Again, part of the loan will say, look, as we have given you this loan, in turn you are going to give us the oil cheaply. There are some...
Dr. John, you keep making this particular statement. Do you have facts?
There are facts now. I told you I've written a paper on it.
Do you have facts?
Look at Lekki Deep Sea Port.
Not just saying there are facts. Do you have facts?
If I don't have facts, remember I'm a researcher.
Because you keep saying they're on. Okay, I understand if you say there might be an undertone to it or there might be an agreement.
Even the National Assembly.
You're stating
look at it.
outrightly.
Look at it. In 2020. 2021, even 2022, yes, even the National Assembly raised alarm concerning those conditions. It is there. I'm not just it's not just a hearsay. Look at a good example, the Lekki Deep Sea Port. It's China's money that is here. You know, most people who do not know will say, oh, Tinubu or the Lagos State. It's not the Lagos State government.
It's not really about...
China's $3.2 billion US dollars.
What I'm talking about is not said, give us all your oil for free so that this and that can happen.
Those are the things that are there. Are you aware?
Explaining.
Are you aware that...
so much detail.
Are you aware that China... at a level, China is even overpowering America. Do you know that Chinese police stations are in New York? Are you also aware that they are at the point of establishing their own police stations in Nigeria?
How does that correspond with...
They have to come...
saying, give us free oil and all of that.
Now, the point is, these people have given you so much loans.
Okay.
With a very long moratorium period of 11 to 20 years when you pay off that loan. But there are clauses in that law, the default clause. There is also what they call the cost default clause. I am very into Nigeria-China diplomacy. Let's discuss the road. So what I'm saying is that instead of giving such roads to Julius Berger, I know Julius Berger is more expensive.
More, you mean better hands? Now.
Yes, better hands, like Julius Berger. I'm specific. I'm not advertising as Julius Berger.
Let's work with
the point is, the point is that I have grown to, since I was small, and I've grown to know Julius Berger as the best construction company in Nigeria. But you know, for political reasons.
For all the adverts you have done, Dr. John, we're not going to let you go.
For better, let's get better companies to handle that job. What they are doing between Okome and the Ibiama there is rubbish, complete rubbish. Do you know that on our way back on Sunday, we had to take a bush road into Uduekpe and came out at Olokobo before we were able to find our way. So I don't know why the federal government treats the Niger Delta
That brings about my question.
Yes.
I asked you earlier. Why did it take this long? We've not had only one. We've not had that's just one administration. We've had various administrations ever since this road has been under construction, and this has been a big problem in Nigeria. And for years now, if you want to mention one of the issues or some of the issues that we have in Nigeria, you always mention the East-West Road as one of the big problems, because look at this story talking about lives being lost. That's not something that should be taken lightly when lives have been involved. And then it's disrupting trade practices. That is also for us to think of withdrawing this contract from this particular company and then giving it to better hands who can handle it.
Well, while we are advocating that the contract should be given to a better person, let me give you one reason. The Niger Delta, that East-West Road has become a thing of politics. See, when people are exploiting you, they don't want to open your eyes. Do you know that the militancy thing in the Niger Delta only started when, during the Abacha period, when Niger Delta youths were invited to see Abuja? When they went there, some big roads, wide roads, you know, well-paid houses and so on. They came back and said, no, we can no longer take it again. Then they now started a militancy. So the point here is that this road, the power brokers and the cabal must play politics with this road. If they tell this road very well, and people can have access to their communities easily, it will be very easy for them to develop. Even if government is not there, it will be very easy for them to develop themselves. I am from Nimbe. Today, there's no road from Nimbe now. There's no road from Nimbe to any nearby community.
Now let's look at the communities that are affected and the states that are affected by the state of
all the states.
How much do you think they have done?
The problem with Nigeria is that the moment they say this is a federal road, the states will no longer own it up. Even if it is just to patch a bad spot, the states will not do it. They say, after all, this is federal road. But I think that was why the last time we met, I suggested that the Brace Commission, comprising the 6 Niger South states, can come together, put resources together. Way back in 2005, I was a manager in NDDC then. The Coastal Road was they did a costing. At that time, it was 270 billion. Remember that even the so-called coastal road they are going to do now, they will play politics with it. Some are now saying they should cancel it. Some are saying they should abrogate the contract. Some are saying they should continue. There is that same problem. Because they do not want the Niger Delta to develop. If that road is clean and well paved, look at it. We have ports in Onne. We have Bonny, it's a port. Integrate this region. But they have forgotten about that. They are now doing concrete roads, clearing of water hyacinths, this solar water.
And what is being done about that?
That is why some of us are telling them to go back and begin to implement the master plan. So the Niger, any development effort by the federal government in the Niger Delta is a thing of politics. Why? They don't want us to grow. By the time this place is opened up, our airports will be bigger than that of Tinkan Island. The deep sea port in Agay, Governor Dixon made some effort, with a view to, opening up the deep sea port. But the states alone, of course, ports, issues of ports, it's not the state government that owns it. It's on the federal or the exclusive list of subjects. So the federal government will not want us to open up these ports because they want us to remain in darkness for as long as we agree.
How long do we want to remain there?
And that is why even as I'm talking now, don't you see I'm protesting?
All right.
It's part of the protest.
Obviously protesting.
I'm protesting.
Mr. John, the federal government has approved the exemption of small businesses, manufacturers and farmers from paying withholding tax as a way of reducing the tax burden on businesses. And now this story has said that the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, Taiwo Oyedele, has disclosed this in a statement on his official X handle on Tuesday. Now, according to him, the government has also introduced key changes to the previous tax regime, such as reduction of rates for businesses with low margins and measures to curb evasion. And he also added that President Bola Tinubu has approved the new withholding tax regime for the country, with the official gazette expected to be signed in the coming days. Now, he said that the withholding tax system introduced in 1978 has had challenges such as the ambiguity necessitated by the increase in transactions that it covered, thereby increasing the list of multiple taxes, inequity, straining the working capital of businesses with low margins. They try to tell us the reason this was actually done. So withholding tax is a method from collecting income tax in advance that's deducted at rates ranging from 5% to 10%, but that is actually based on transactions. And then they're also looking at returns due to the 21st of the following month. Now, he talked about the
expected every responsible government to do, that a government that has the interests of the masses at heart, is to, if it is 1 full year, give these SMEs, the micro, the nano businesses, the micro business, give them tax holiday of at least 1 year, not just withholding tax and whatever. Give them a full tax holiday. See, we are in a very arduous and chaotic situation. Did you not hear that, was it how many days ago, a lady climbed the flyover and threw herself down and died in Delta State? Did you not see it? So many people walking around the road are contemplating suicide. Yesterday, I was actually not going to the bank. I just wanted to go and tidy up something, reactivate an account. Somebody approached me, a well-dressed young man approached me and said, "Oga, please, I've not eaten for 2 days. If I go and steal now, it will be bad. Can you help me with even 500 naira?" So the economy has reduced everybody to a beggar. Because your take-home pay cannot take you. University of Port Harcourt, by tomorrow or so, the SANO, the Senior Staff Association, will down tools. So, government should go beyond that and give these small-scale SMEs, the nano business and so on, a tax holiday of 1 year. That is when it will make sense. Within this past year, Nigerians have passed through hell.
So you actually feel like this is not enough?
It is not enough. Taiwan should be, they should be, the technocrats in that area should come together. Yes.
You know that when the government takes certain steps, people will usually say, what about these other people? Okay, let's look at the minimum wage. A lot of people kept saying, not everybody is, not everybody is on that.
Comes in. I am sure, have they reinstated Betty Edu as a minister? This is where the social investment component of this thing comes in. You know, there are some little loans you can give to people by way of empowerment. For me, but if I'm asked to design NYSC today, I will design it in such a way that 1 year, you will not just use it to do CD, you use it to teach in the class and so on. That 1 year, you will be trained on how to manage a business. So as you are passing out, a starter pack is given to you. It's not everybody that, you don't put everybody in a straight jacket and say all of you must do this business. No. Some will be in the area of agro business. Other people should be in other areas, you know. Some will be in a catering area. Those who specialize in that catering area will leave the NYSC camp. When they pass out, they have money to start up what they have learned. In China, the 1 year compulsory national service we do.
China again.
In China, they use that 1 year to learn farm work, and that is why
advice, like you have stated. Do you see
if the bidding does not take place? Because any contract you award without bidding is against the due process law of 2007. But in most cases, some ministers will